Redemption is defined as being saved from evil, error, or sin. In reality TV, the worst error you can do is commit the sin of not finishing a project. It doesn't matter if you're pulled from the game because you were sick, family emergencies, or whether you just simply choked. This could be a career killer. It's particularly true for men and not so much for women. This is evident on many networks. In the fall of 2014, I applied for Naked and Afraid, and I was granted an interview. Now, during the interview, I asked if they had a lot of people apply for the show, and they said not particularly. They said there was enough men that want to do it, but they don't have enough women. Now, quite a few women did redeem themselves by atoning for their sins. They came back and they finished what they started. In contrast, the men haven't been so lucky. I've been online reading some of the comments by some of the men who were pulled from the show for various reasons, and they really would like to come back and finish what they started. But the networks, they don't seem to listen, and a lot of the cast members are actually reaching out to the fans to go to the network pages and see if they can be brought back to the show just like they wanted. Now, CBS Survivor, that show's an exception. That show has no trouble bringing in men and women back if they were popular, or if they were taken out for some unfortunate incident and brought back again to compete. Now, part of me tends to believe the reason some people aren't recast is you need to make an impression. You got to bring drawing power. You got to be a star in order to be successful and be recast. It seems to me very, very few people do that. And it might be a good reason they're not recast. There are a lot of good people out there, you know, that I think deserve a second chance, need to come back and prove what they want to themselves and to the fans and to the network. And I consider myself to be one of those people. Okay, pardon me for a moment. I just sounded like one of those entitled fucking millennials. No, I don't deserve it, but I want the opportunity to come back and finish what I started. In my particular case, I waited 12 plus years for this opportunity to go out and do something, take an adventure. Well, my adventure unfortunately was cut short by things that were not my fault and beyond my control. I struggled with the decision to have to leave, but I did what I had to do and I made the right choice, the right call, even though this is not what I wanted. I wanted to stay and finish what I started. I felt I had a lot to offer and a lot I wanted to show everyone. October Films and National Geographic invested a lot of time in us, and I wanted to give them back what I felt they were owed. I don't take the time to read a lot of negative comments from trolls, but there was a comment in Twitter that stuck out, and the comment was pretty much, if you knew things were bad when you left, why the hell did you go out in the first place? Well, here's my answer to that question, which I think is a fair question. First of all, before I left, things were a little shaky, but manageable. I nearly didn't make it for one reason, but I'm not going to tell what these reasons are because they're kind of personal reasons. Now, when I arrived in Africa, we had 2 days at the lodge before we set out in the trek, and I had at least those 2 days to be able to phone back home if I needed to, and I found out a few more things came up, and I knew then my time was going to be short. And believe me, I struggled with this decision. So I hope this answers your question. And by the way, you can take that thumb out of your ass and put it back in your mouth. I took on this adventure for many reasons. Personal reasons, despite wanting the adventure, which was the major reason. I was hoping that after the show concluded, other doors might open and present more opportunities to do different things. Now, I'm 45 years old. I put a lot of time here at the farm. And within the past year, I've been really struggling with the decision if I want to continue to do this all the time. I just want to see what's out there, you know, find more opportunity, find new adventures. This is what I want out of life. Now, my decision to leave haunts me daily, and I'm constantly thinking about it. I'm having a bit of a hard time dealing with it at times. So I talk to some people, and the worst excuse I can hear is, well, maybe that wasn't one of God's plans. Now, I'm not the most religious person out there, but if God had a plan, as long as it's been, that plan has not been revealed to me. And I think it's kind of a lame excuse. It just seems to me that's ironic that when I waited this long to do what I did, that everything just had to fall apart at the exact same time. Personally, I felt like I was been cheated by fate, and I really want to go out and redeem myself. Redeeming myself doesn't mean sitting around waiting for something to happen. I have to look for the adventure. I have to knock on the door, and hopefully someone will answer. Will it happen? Who knows? Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but that's life, and I just have to learn to deal with it and move on. So, but if I do get on again on any kind of an adventure, you're not going to regret it. I'm going to be the outrageous goofball I've always been, and you're just going to have a good time watching me. See ya.